What's one thing you think I don't understand about you and why?
That argument part. Yes. You
Why?
don't understand that I am just expressive. I'm not a lady who likes drama. I feel like the picture you have of me is
Unajua kwanza, acha nikwambie.
She's coming. 3, 2, 1. Laptop. Lakini babe, lap dance.
Nakwambia kwenye where my mind is.
I can see.
How do you do, YouTube fam, and welcome to another episode of Live, Love and Learn. And this is the Couples Show. Tumefika huko. We are here.
We are here
in person.
In Tuko. You know, I used to watch Tuko kitambo when I was working. So it's like it's Mama,
Deja
I made
vu.
it.
We're on this channel, guys.
Yes.
We are here as the Peekays. Most of you, if not all of you, know us from our YouTube channel because we have a YouTube channel that we learn together as a family.
Yes.
We share family content, lifestyle, and
marriage,
a bit of some things here and there. Sometimes we just
chilia.
Yeah, and faith. That was my second point. That above that, we are believers in marriage, and we're also born again, and we love Christ.
Yes.
And when we're given a platform such as this, we are happy that we're here to share with you guys tips about marriage.
Are we? Because what has happened, we've been given a bunch of questions over here, and we are not sure what's here. Yes, each. These are
mine
questions.
Is somewhere.
Yeah, where are yours?
They are there.
Also, we have a bunch of questions. This is like the bunch. I don't want you to see because we've not even seen these questions. And I love this kind of conversations because they spark up like, things like conversations like we never have brought up.
They make you think also.
They make you think and they make you feel like you're in a date. Like we are doing a date.
Sort of.
So, hatuna coffee and what have you.
Yeah, so the questions now, none of us, okay. She has her questions, I have mine.
Yes.
I don't know whether we'll go through one or we'll take turns.
We will take turns.
Let's take turns.
When you ask, we discuss, and then now I ask,
we discuss or we answer.
We answer. Answers are going to spark discussions. Yeah?
Okay.
So I think that is what we are going to do. So where are your questions?
Let me whip up my questions. So you go first.
Yes, we dive right into it.
Yeah.
So question number 1. We're going straight into it. How do you feel when you are around me, young man? How do I make you feel?
Myself?
Yes.
Unajua ni poa when you look at the person you married and you see, yani she's attractive. Not only to me, even to other people, and you feel I made the right choice. Unajua? Kuna zile za, yani unajua kuna unapitanga tu unaona, yani nobody is interested. Guys, can you just look back? So I wanted my question.
Everyone is wonderfully and fearfully made.
I have not said that. Me, I've said in the context of our marriage as the biggest. You've asked me, how do you make me feel?
Yeah, you as
my opinion. I'm just saying, mtu wangu, mimi nasema, because that's what I see. Maybe the other person hata anaona wengi even international sijui nimejibu kwangu.
So you feel attracted? Okay.
No, not attracted. I'm saying I feel that I made the right choice. Because first of all, she's pretty, and then she is also, unajua wanasema kwa Swahili, chema cha jiuza,
kibaya cha jitembeza.
Walk away. So you see now, if other people can go to notice that, man, that means I, the boy child, made the right choice. Without further.
Boy child.
Let's go. So what is the most recent thing that has happened to your life that you are most grateful about?
You guys, seriously.
It's so evident.
I hope it can be seen on camera.
Nani alipanga hizi maswali? Ni kama alijua.
Watu wamekuwa kitufuata.
If you have watched our latest video, you know that this is a recent blessing, and we cannot now, her and also me, because we are together.
Yeah.
So far, we are happy about our little one who is baking in there.
Yes. That's our most recent.
Yes.
All right. Now, my number 2 is, how can I love you better? And what should I do more frequently to show you love?
That's me. You're asking how I can love you better.
Yeah, I really want to hear that.
Oh, how you can love me better?
Yes.
Okay, I think
you can love me better
is by, you know, make more time. Like let's send our children away more often. Then you cook for me. Because it's obvious, guys.
Wait.
By the way, if you have another follower, you know that I am more of the person who's in the kitchen.
You're the chef.
And so I end up now. I'm the chef, but sometimes you know you want to try the heart and keep it aside.
But babe, how about you tell me, hey babe, because what happens, babe, honestly, is you go to the kitchen, hata sijuangi ukifika kwa kitchen. By the time na zuba hapo usha whip up a meal. For me, it doesn't come naturally to whip up a meal as quickly as you would. So I feel like you can communicate about it. Let me tell you,
that's why the platform is asking how. I'm not telling you to, but imeuliza how can.
Okay, that is
so which means it doesn't have to be like at every week I must do it, like when you routine marota. No, you can now say when when you have time. Yes, just randomly. Like there's also times I used to go out and have very late meetings, and I come home. When I come home, nakuja tu hapo, you are there, Miguel is there. Unaniuliza, nikuserve, like it used to feel nice, like yeah.
Okay. That is noted. That is very well noted.
I have the baton now. The biggest challenge we have overcome together as a couple.
What is the biggest challenge we've overcome together? I feel like it's just we grow together in whatever hurdles.
Yes, but I can give an example of because of our personalities. When we were dating or before when we came to marriage, I was a very big spender. I was a very big spender. So I can say like my background is finance, but yet I did not have financial discipline.
Yeah.
But I still had some essence of financial discipline. In fact, I was very kind to random people I don't know.
Yeah.
So I can say that's one of the hurdles we have gone through of financial discipline, because sometimes you spend. Mwisho hatuna kitu imebakia.
Yeah.
But your aspect ya give also is something we are also now harmonizing as a family, because we need to embrace that.
I love that what you have said, harmonizing. I think the biggest hurdle is harmonizing our different personalities and making sure that everyone is accommodated.
Yes.
Your personality is accommodated, but also your imperfection is, I want to say tamed, but not tamed, like is worked on in a loving manner, because we have imperfections.
Yes.
We are not perfect.
Case in point is
harmonizing that.
The case in point is where they give an example of every time you go to the shower, you put on you dress up and you're ready to step out. You have to go to the mirror and check if you are okay. So if as a partner, they're able to look at you and see what you don't see about yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how I think unasema story imperfections.
Yeah, harmonizing our imperfections.
Yeah.
So what about our relationship or marriage makes you happy?
Last week discussing about our children. And somehow I'm grateful to God by them, not bragging that. I mean, God ametupea grace ya ku, bring forth beautiful children. So nice. I'll say this. So I think that team, that how we work as a team to even produce the babies. For me,
the
in our marriage,
process.
The production process, yes. In our marriage, for me, is top notch.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes.
You're next.
I'm next. Hey, tunatoka huko juu tunarudi. It's a contrast. I don't. I'm an oxymoron. What makes you jealous?
What makes me jealous?
Yeah.
What would make me? Why does it say because it has not made me thus far?
What makes you? Basically, if kama ja happen,
I feel like I always wish you the best in everything that you do, unless now it would enter in the context of giving other ladies attention, and all that. But that's not makes. So that now that we would change the question to what would make me.
So it's conditional if
because,
it would.
Yeah. Okay. Like, hey, ukapea another lady, hey, that would make me.
Na wapikia then nakwambia unipikie.
I know. Hiyo inaweza nifanya nikue jealous.
Don't think about it too hard. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Hata hii sasa tunaingia. Unajua watu wanadhani the way we've been talking for the past 10 minutes we are a perfect couple. What is our worst argument or breakup yet? And yes, we have actually broken up a couple of times. We should go to our YouTube channel and check that out. We broke up twice before we got married.
But I think the highest was before we got married.
Even after?
No, let me underscore or highlight the one before we got married. Just before we got married, I think the one we broke up for, is it a year or so? A year and a couple of months, yes.
Yeah, a year, 2 years.
Yes, that was...
We are never sure, like, the exact,
That for me was our biggest, and it was occasioned by the previous question. Because me, I was a very good, I don't know,
yes. Now, babe, let me tell you, babe is the kind of person who is so welcoming, so jovial. You know, he will go to the farthest end to make you feel special.
In this case, special, with no strings attached.
With no strings attached.
Yes.
However, as a female, let me say this.
Thank you.
As a female, if you come across a man who is showing you extra attention, ati hadi alikuwa ananunulia wasichana sijui wagani anawanunulia koti. Unawaita sijui majina gani hizo.
I was a kind human being.
No, that's beyond kindness. Now for us females, the female, you know, this is of
Eve.
Yes. When you show us a bit extra attention, and that time you're not married.
Yeah.
We were not, your time Tuko married.
We were not married.
If you show me a bit extra attention,
you will think
I'll definitely think that you are hitting on. So you can imagine how many women
walking in the street and Nairobi thinking I'm hitting on them.
Thinking that babe is their babe and me, I'm there in the babe era.
So also. I was babe
that one by
a million one people.
Yes, that was a big one. And we had to learn how to.
Yes.
Yeah, even calling them all those nice names, all those. Imagine tulikuwa a bunch of people.
But I've said, guys, there were no strings attached, and that's what I'm saying. When you get to the confines of marriage with your spouse, you get to now understand that it's not all about those kind of things and calling out, making everybody feel special. Because again, that then leaves you with no room to make the person who you share the same everything with.
There is no difference.
Exactly.
In fact, that one will also answer the other question for jealous. Yes, but you've learned.
But I've said
it took prayers and.
Now fast forward. Now highlight the other one. Now you are talking about.
Which one? Oh yeah, in fact, the one for marriage. I think that one was worse. Let's leave it at that because the question is our worst.
Yeah.
Breakup yet.
That was.
You don't understand. Yeah, you don't understand how. You're being called babes, Muko babes, 1 million.
But guys, I learned the hard way.
Oh yeah.
Don't learn the hard way.
Oh yeah, I dumped.
So just just have boundaries. So just see what we're generation Z. So we were the old school. We thought like this is cool, just giving to people, and then we just say you gonna feel.
So wasichana they have Nairobi. They are thinking you guys are dating,
God
and me
had given us. God will come and elevate in a way that how I moved up my career ladder. Okay, so God, my career ladder was very, very swift. And I was earning quite some good money, so it wasn't an issue for me to flush out
cards. And he's
cards.
A spendthrift. Can you imagine? Alafu wasichana wa Nairobi.
Then also I was at a point where I never used to feel like I want to just walk around and just handle cash, dirty cash. I used to use cards. Anyway, to the next one. What conversations should we have more often?
I feel like we really have.
That one now I know why you're struggling with it is because we spend most of the time together. Because we work together.
Everything.
So we can talk about nearly everything.
Conversations pop up.
Yes.
Like in the whatever scope.
Yes. And also the fact that we are now going into our 7th year in marriage. I think the last 6 years, almost every sphere, because of also how to manage around, we have had either a challenge directly from us or even outside. So we've seen people go through it. So I don't think for us there's an area we have left untouched.
Yes. We go deep about everything.
Absolutely.
Which behaviors are off limits during an argument?
one of the things that we don't do when we are arguing, or when you sense or smell there's an argument coming, is we don't do it in the presence of our son.
Our son. And
or our house manager.
Yeah.
Any subordinate in our house.
Yes.
We do not have an argument when they are there. Now, we leave it now from that is in the community. When you go now even to, like, if it's our room and you have the argument, we don't yell, shout, or raise voices at each other. We don't raise voices at each other,
and we don't name call.
Yes.
Nani,
you feel umekosewa, na una feel your temper is too high, take some time off.
Or don't say something that
you will never be able to
take back. Because you see, the thing with words is that once words are spoken, even if mpendane tena,
it ishatoka. You already said it.
Or another one is to involve our family members.
That one actually we learned in our PMCC class.
Yes. We don't involve our family members.
And this is the case, because now if I go and tell my brother or my mother
they're never
that she is this, they will never view her the same way again.
Because blood is thicker than water.
Of course.
So I think though that's straightforward.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
So I go next. So how was our first year living together?
Things that I remember was I was trying too hard to be a super wife.
Yes. Yes.
Umeambiwa pale mwanaume ni nini kusi. And then we were working different hours. I was in a night job. I was working 8 to 8, and you are working 8 to 5. So you can imagine, I'm there, ndo nimeamka, I'm trying to iron his shirts, I'm trying to do his breakfast, I'm trying to, ama ndo maana unaniambia I go back to cooking.
No, in fact, that's not my issue. Nimesema, I've just said one.
Yes, so I was trying so hard to be a super wife. And it was not working. I was breaking down.
Because for me, I did not have those expectations of.
Yes, you did not, and that's the thing. You did not have.
That day.
You did not. You are enjoying it.
Who will not enjoy by the way?
Yeah, but you didn't have.
See, even nasikianga poa like now.
Yes.
Even when you come from this show, see you umetoka ukanibebea shati yangu. Ukakuja nayo.
Yeah. So it's not like he had expectations, but I had those expectations from the conversations you have been hearing from your aunties and from older women. A man should be taken care of like this, like. I would not even want like someone to handle the washing of clothes. So up until Miguel, nilikuwa nangengana na mashati za they had collar ones because it was an 8 to 5 and he was doing a very corporate job.
And I never used to have dark shirts.
Let me tell you, bright colored shirts. Nangengana even when I was pregnant with Miguel. Do you know I washed those shirts?
Yes, you did.
And by the time I was realizing that even this man hana pressure. He does not have pressure. I was so into it. And I'm working at night. At night when you wake up, uko nimengengana na my breakfast. Uko running away from work so to make sure that you have a meal when you come back from work.
Yeah.
But since now we realize there's no pressure and, help, just ask for, delegate, just delegate.
Yes.
Life has been bliss.
But that
was, I was trying to fit in. Adjusting was quite, but also in the positive part of it, when we didn't have, there was no kid, there was no nannies, it was just us. It was beautiful.
That's what I'm saying. So not that I did not appreciate those times, it's because siko na expectations, but it doesn't mean that because I never used to like say nafaa fanya. No. It's just that wewe ndio ulikuwa unajaribu kufit in the shoes of a super wife, kila kitu. But now you know wanasemanga that two are better than one. So when you're one, ukiwa peke yako, you cannot do as the way we would do if you are a team. Because maybe unaniambia umefua, you want to make dinner, but dinner when I'm eating your ironing shirt, iron shirt, then we'll pick it. Then we come and spend time
also,
together.
Now it has reminded me, but it was so much fun. There was no nanny. There was no child, so we had quite a bit more of quality time.
Those responsibilities now have necessitated us to have now other helpers in the house.
Am I focused enough, or are there areas I need to improve on?
I would say, like any, philosopher or scholar, that there is always room for improvement. It doesn't mean that you're not focused.
I know.
It doesn't mean you're not focused. You have a focus. You know where you want to be as a person, and also maybe also as the mother to us now in the family. When were we tested the most as a couple, how?
As a couple, as a married couple, or as a couple?
As a couple.
I think it's when we are trying to work on our imperfections, because there are sometimes you feel like this person is not supposed to hurt you, and especially for me, because I had held you in a very high
regard,
pedestal,
like a sort of a god.
Yes. I think it's when you hurt me. Ile hurt macha hizi za ati umebluti kulilala nini. When you hurt me for the first time, I think that was when we were really tested. Because you see, for me, the idea of what I had for you, the picture in my mind I had created was someone who is perfect, someone who will never hurt me, someone who will ever. And so getting back from that, like mourning, in fact, that's the correct word.
The older person.
Mourning your death of the picture that I had for you.
And now the new one.
And now birthing and getting to know
that this person is human.
And I think it was very, very necessary, even as a Christian, to know that only God is the solid rock on which we stand. All
He's
other
the only
ground,
person who cannot hurt you.
including my husband, is sinking sand.
Benita sinking sand.
You are sinking sand. Oh, these days I know that you're sinking.
No, but you know, you should do that to God. Me, I'm still your husband.
You're still my husband, but I know that there are moments when you can disappoint me or hurt me.
Exactly.
And I need to run to God, and he's just my source of.
But you also acknowledge that even the times you're hurt or I hurt you, it's not intentional. Some of them just come.
Now you see, the picture I had was you are not supposed to hurt me.
Exactly.
Because for me, expectation. My expectation was very high. Yes. That if ever you hurt me, you don't love me. Now, sasa, I don't even know who I married and all that. So for me, for that expectations of mine to die, and someone else is born, and I get to learn them, that was, I think, the most trying time. Now we are getting into the bedroom matters. We are spicing things up a little bit.
Let's see what.
What's your favorite way for me to initiate zigs? What is it? Even me, I want to know. Let me listen nicely so that I can do it more often.
Yeah. Let me come out and tell it.
Tell it to the world.
So, unajua women wanasemanga ati you have to, it has to be ati all day, the whole day, you have to keep talking to them nicely with nice words, kumwandikia to message, what not.
It's very necessary.
However, for us,
for me,
it's not the case.
What's the case?
The case is one, and this has been spoken time and again, people should stop wearing that clothes are not appealing in the bedroom. Especially, guys, when it's January to March, desist sleeping in clothes. Please stay away.
When you're gonna underlying issues the chest.
The temperatures are now 33 degrees.
I know, but there are some people who have chest issues.
You will warm each other.
So
you see, Nizile, don't come out like you know, like how the news anchors, they come like they come and tell us, guys, we have some breaking news. We don't want that. Like, it has to be very subtle. Okay, for me, like subtle, like unajua when ama unakuja one of those days when it's July, it's very, very cold.
So what you're saying is to come not clothed at all.
That is,
akina nikikumbuka niko na kale kana nani night dress kangu kale ka comfortable kale ka granny nani.
Hiyo na basa ile nime travel ile nimebaki
kwa chini nafanya. But also there was a discussion that you guys had before you got married. Ati mlisema ampendi hizo lingerie, ampendi hizo.
Njoo ziko na kazi nyingi.
So you prefer just but what about the mystery of unrevealing what?
No, that one you can only do it when you travel vacations.
So you prefer
hii ingine that is me. I don't know somebody else with something. I've just said my case.
Okay, we are learning.
Describe
what? That's a huge word.
Underline that word. Our first sex experience.
Hiyo sasa itapoteza watu juu hiyo watu kuwa married.
By the way, still remember, we are still born again when we discuss
Yeah.
Hey, na
We talked about it in our wanaenda kwenda. Oh, ameenda.
Yeah.
For me, it was uncomfortable.
The experience.
It was uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable.
Did I have a party playing that?
Yeah, what do you mean? It was our. It was very uncomfortable.
I'm just asking whether I had a part to play. It was just, like when you go to a country and they give you like chili chocolate. Like, I want to experience how it would taste because it's chocolate and chili. But
it was not fun for me and it was uncomfortable.
Okay, so to redeem myself from all that you have said, ni sawa, umepeana experience. Now today,
because if you remember,
no.
Kitambo, unajua babe ya ukumbuki the first time. Do you remember?
What?
The very first
I do
time.
remember. That's what I'm saying, ni sawa, iko comfortable. Unajua sasa, maybe me, I had a drive. I was an agenda. But now I'm asking now, what about now? Sasa tunajaribu kujiredeem. Okay, najiredeem.
Now is the ways have been created.
Praise Jesus.
3, 2, 1. Laptop. So the word was lap. Laptop, lap dance. Lakini babe, lap dance.
Nakwambia kwenye where my mind is.
I can see for sure.
Now on the next one. Let's see if this one we get this one.
Okay.
You have to strive to sipate zote zero.
Yeah, at least.
Now watu wanajua see the bright student.
And we think the same.
Yeah,
So nguo matching.
Ati.
3, 2, 1. Shoeless. 3, 2, 1. Supermarket. The word is super. Okay.
Yeah, Superman, supermarket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
House manager.
House manager. Okay,
Yeah. The last one.
3, 2, 1.
Sugar cane.
dish. Would it be a violation of trust if I looked through your phone while you were in the shower?
Well, I would say yes. It would be.
If I looked through your phone?
It should be a violation of trust. That's true. Because unless you're looking for something like, because like, I'm saying this now with all honesty because I know people keep their phones, wako na passcode, wako na face detector, fingerprint, all those ones. It would be because it means just be bold enough and ask that person. Maybe I feel that this is what's happening. Because even if you look through and see, then what? Because it's not about the phone or what is in the phone. It's about me as a person. So I would say yes. I'm not saying don't look if you feel that is satisfy whatever it's you're feeling. But I'm saying especially if you're in a setup where you either are married or you are planning to get married, yani those serious relationships you are in, be bold enough and ask me that I feel like XYZ so and so. We have had that discussion a couple of times, I think, when we have had people who maybe you meet and they have other agendas, and maybe ladies are always the first people to see. They have an intuition.
God just brings things up.
Yeah, so hiyo nasema hiyo ukikuwa hivyo just voice it and ask about it. But because I don't ukichukua simu ndio ile ni kwa bafu unaona, then what? But because the whole idea is for you to change as a person. Kama ni FBI na CIA, it's okay. You look through my phone, get what you need to get because it's an idea to investigate the next person. But it is for kama ni relationships, stay away from it.
Yeah.
What sexual boundaries do you have?
Kuna vitu zingine hatuwezi do manze.
Yeah. Especially now if you married with the aspect of Christian backing.
Yeah.
Kuna vitu kabisa tuwezi fanya. I'll say this because now it's not iko kwa ati somewhere confined ama it's an experience ya mtu. Kulikuwa na hizi vitu watu walikuwa wanafanya just before I got married. Kulikuwa na zita used to be called sex orgies. Like when you guys, maybe we are all dating, we are 8 of us. What sort of, I don't know,
anyway, I don't know
for that. So that is, kuna hizo hiyo ni an example. Kuna vitu ziko like also personally, and also as a couple, we do not subscribe also to the fact that God created man and man to live together, woman and woman to live together. So for us, that is an outright no. The issue of personality or where you come from, that's a whole different aspect. But where I stand, I would not even say that's something that I can discuss. Personally, I can discuss that. That for me is a non-negotiable.
Yeah, there are some things that are non-negotiables, especially when you're a Christian.
Yes.
So I think that's that. We will not delve into them. I think we know them.
Yeah.
So, are there times you need space in this marriage?
No. I think I had a very good. We had very good experience from our the class we did, PMCC. PMCC taught us very, very, very well. And the people who are there, who are facilitators, they gave us experiences such that unajuanga ukiingia kwa marriage hakunanga exit. Kama kuna kitu, you should never have an exit plan in marriage.
But also, I'm looking at this question in another perspective of me time or self-care.
Okay, me being the fact, I have an aspect of a sanguine in me. So
you didn't want to ile wanasemanga out with the boys or you time.
Okay, those ones are just there for social thing, but I will not take that at the expense that I want to break from the marriage.
I think that question can be looked at in two ways. Is it space like I want space, like give me space, or just I just need to just go and maybe hang out with the girls or do other things, or maybe self-care, because I'd not mind just going to having some
it's not bad.
A day for hair, nails.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's
you even
in
have
that perspective.
such things. It's not bad.
Yes.
I'm just saying for me, it doesn't really, it's not something that is top of my list. First of all, because I have that aspect of a sanguine, and two, the fact that I'm also big on acts of service. So if I'm alone, then who am I serving? Now me, by the way, there's the whole day, nisijipikie ama nikumetu whatever is around there. But when people are there, I'm very big on serving others. So that's what now, that I don't think now we're out of that. Then also now the idea of ukisema hiyo story that you go to the boys, you imagine pate hapo and you're now serve like what's that? Have I ever is a keyword, made you feel unsafe or insecure during an argument? No, that one is an absolute no. Yeah, because actually we defined the boundaries that we have.
Yes.
You don't do things that
no, that one
that you would not do.
Yeah.
That you feel that you can never take back.
Yes,
like I can never.
Or nikaa unataka kunislap ama kukaa nikaa utanipiga kitu kama no.
You love the person genuinely. You not do those things. And because don't be informed by the fact that maybe you feel I am of age, I need to get married.
Yeah.
Your heart should also drive you that I feel that this is the person I want to. Because forever is not a short time.
Forever is a long time.
It's a really long time.
Yeah. So the other question is, if you could change one thing about me, what would that be? One.
Just one thing.
Kwani there are how many? It's like you're disappointed it's one. The question that's what people like wangenipea kaa tano ama
just the question should have been like, if you have to change a few things.
Oh my goodness. Yani they are that many.
Go and go. Ukisema kama 100 unakuwa umesema a few. So
it means there are more than one.
Yeah, but you can deal with them.
Ebu ziseme mbio mbio.
I think
one more than one nataka kuzisikia. The one in the top of the list.
Yeah,
the
top of the list. Top of the list is one, unapenda ku argue sana. Not only with me, even with the people, other people.
Aki, but it's not arguing. It's
what?
I am expressive.
Ndio unaipea a fancy name.
What do you mean argue? But is it from baseless?
Like unasemanga, acha niwaambie ndio tukufunga hii discussion.
Baseless.
Unasemanga you will not go down without a fight.
Not necessarily, babe, but you have to agree that azikuangi baseless. Zinakuanga na base.
Illustration, guys. This is it. Endelea.
Zinakuanga na base. Yani, I'm not going to allow for you to come at me or maybe say something and I have something to say about it. But what if I'm on the wrong? Do I also argue about it? I only argue, and it's not even arguing, it's just expressing myself or confronting or asking questions.
Thank you guys for sparing us your time. Is it you or me?
It's
you are
me.
next.
When was the last time you cried and why?
Oh, me. If you have watched our videos, the last video, it's because of this blessing.
Yes.
This has made us, it has brought so much joy.
Yeah.
I would say that. And that was the last time. So
yeah, and even announcing it to the world was an emotional.
It was a very, very emotional to share it out there, because you feel like you want to protect them with everything that you have.
Yeah.
Whatever you can put to do, you do within your powers. But
yeah,
now that we trust ourselves in this world, we have no choice but to come out and share with you guys. That was the last time. That was the last time. What's one thing you think I don't understand about you and why?
That argument part. Yes. You
Why?
don't understand that I am just expressive and that it's not arguing, I'm just asking. It's not that I am a person who likes drama.
Keep continuing the word, I'm just expressing. Like you pray.
Mi nasemaje, babe, I feel like haunieleangwi that I'm not a lady who likes drama. I feel like the picture you have of me is this dramatic. Yani, like sometimes hata naonanga, unaonanga,
unajua kwanza,
drama
acha nikwambie,
she's coming.
Like I was very, 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 in the first years of marriage, nilikuwa like, unajua ukaniambia kitambo sasa when you got married, you're sharing with me the movies you like to watch. Sasa ukaniambia unapenda kuona hizi Real Housewives of Atlanta. Ukiingia hapo,
but I feel like because you see guys, acha nijitete kwa kamera. Watu watatoka hapa with a very bad review of me. That is very very bad view of me. Watu watadhani I'm a drama queen. So this is it.
No,
this is it. Babe is a very, babe is the one to leave things. Okay, ni sawa. Like have your way. Me, I'm not going to leave it. We have to make sure we get a conclusion out of that because of next time. So baby is the one who is going to be like, okay, hapendi. Okay, nikisema haupendi drama itakanika ni mimi napenda. Hapendi arguments and quarrels. By the way, wherever there is like an argument or quarrels or whatever, he will be the first one to back out. I will be the last one to keep quiet.
Yeah, because I have to argue for a whole day. Bottom line is, what is the fact? What's the issue?
But you see, it's, we need to get to the bottom line of it. And we need to get facts right. That's the thing. Okay. That's it. What would you like me to open up about more?
That one I feel
I'm open.
We are quite open. So that one I don't think there is anything I would say that there's anything room there. Because everything we are an open book to each other. If we have, or if this marriage,
but I feel
if this marriage has to work.
If it was that question was to me, you are not quite open.
In terms of what?
Sometimes I have to dig out information.
Like what?
Like you don't give information freely.
Like what?
You have to think and think of, like you wouldn't say some things naturally. You have to kind of think about it. Then unaniambia huko, I'm like, when did this happen?
Because of also the fact that we talk about question expressive and dramatic, and people who just allow things to just easily flow. So that's the point.
What does that mean, babe?
That me, by the way, I sometimes
kuna vitu una feelingi sio necessary kuniambia.
But you feel the necessary.
Mimi, the moment I finish with that thing, I'm there telling you about it. Like there's nothing you do not, up until now, there's nothing about my life you do not know. But I feel like if I was to peel you one by one, there are some things I'd find out about you that I don't know.
Or you take the next one with issues.
Don't listen. You take time before you think about whether you tell me or not.
Are there any issues in our relationship that you feel are unresolved?
Not quite, because again, I address things as soon as possible. However, ni kama hizo za kukua more expressive and more open, babe. You need to be more. Without me asking.
Without me asking for information. To be more aggressive.
Not aggressive.
Be the last one to keep quiet.
No, not aggressive. Hiyo si nini ya kuwa aggressive. Ni like be more open. Don't wait for me kitu inifikie ama ukijua nitajua ndio unaniambia. Either you take time to think about something before you tell me.
No, you have to process pole and find out how you say it.
Sasa shida ni ikinifikia before uniambie, that's will be a problem.
Shaomba God takufikia before you process.
But how about you just say, I'm your wife, you just be open about it. Just tell me.
We'll get
so you agree that you have that problem?
I would not say yes, because even now top of my head I can't remember something that I have not said that I najua things that
I think you're getting better. You're getting much better. But you're not there yet. What do you need the most from me right now? To be biased, to be no less biased.
No.
To be less biased.
Actually, less biased in those aspects is when it will change. And that is trying to Nyero nasemanga, you want to change the person to what you want, but it doesn't work like that. So I think in that light, I think the most important thing I would say for that one is right now I think what we need is understanding, especially to both of us. We are two different individuals who have
different personalities,
and we perceive things differently. So I think I would say that is what now I think it's just I can marry compromise in that, but ni kama you understand that this person will sema hiyo ya kwanza that this person is human. You understand that this person sometimes will fall short of my expectation or my ratings. So ndio to move on, because tukianza kuweka standards za asipofika 10 kama battery ya simu 100%, then it doesn't count. Then we will have a long time and a very miserable time in our marriage.
All right. The next one from me is, what's your biggest insecurity and how can I support you in it? Interesting.
Insecurity.
I'd like to know.
Insecurity? I personally don't think I am insecure about.
Hey, confidence now.
So do you think we show each other enough gratitude?
For me, I think I try as much as possible to say thank you at all times.
Especially being the person who is most of the time being on the recipient,
the
receiving side.
So do I need to be more on the service side?
No, but not really, because it could not, maybe inaweza see your forte, not see your strength.
But usemangi asanti sana. You don't appreciate, you don't say thank you.
Maybe I'm not presented with opportunities to say thank you.
That's what I was asking. Is it because I'm the one who... But babe, sikufanyangi kitu, honestly. I know you make for me breakfast and I know you do all this thing. I do all this.
You do, but I'm saying, you see now for you, because they're an everyday thing. For example, like even the recent the one where you got me the phone, but I said thank you. But I'm saying,
did you say thank you?
Let me go back to the video and watch. So this is what I'm saying. This is the breakfast asubuhi, there's lunch coming, and there'll be dinner. No? Let's even roll back to last night. We had a meeting yesterday at night. But what did I do first? I quickly now fixed dinner for you and Miguel. So I'm saying, so you have an opportunity to say thank you on an everyday.
But do I do it enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the one who needs that one. You have learned. You have learned. You have mastered that art.
Mustard?
Yes.
Not mustard. Like I say it as...
That's why it's called mastery. Like the mastery of a language.
Thank you, baby. Your philosophical terms. Anyway, what is your biggest fear about our marriage?
My fear is that I do not want to leave my children or our children with nothing. They have nothing they can call their own. Inheritance.
It's actually in the Bible.
Yes, and I never want. Let me even give practical things. I will never want our children to ever hear of things like pizza or such things. You know those things we used to come to Nairobi unasikia kitu majina kubwa kubwa unashangaa hizo ni nini? Na akose. I would rather God forbid you go to the lowest, like not in a bad way. Sema hii wiki sita fuel. Let's use the matatu. Ndio hiyo have the money nimgetie hiyo. Not because of anything. I just want them to experience everything. Because you know now schools they share a lot. Anasikia. Oh, we had pizza yesterday at our house. That I would not want.
Mine, I tell you.
Yes.
Death of one of us. You are laughing.
Because me, that's an area I ran
Actually,
away. I ran away from that area.
I thought that's what you are gonna say first, because I know it's a real fear. That
but I ran away from that like a plague. Like,
because that will.
Do you know how hard? What courage
about.
It takes me even to say when I say that God forbid if you're not there, like it's courage.
Yeah. Anyway, we are praying that God is going to give us long life.
Long life, yes.
Yeah, so is it me?
It's me.
It's you.
Can you name something that I do that unintentionally hurts you? Please.
Sometimes that you're not honest. But it's something that you have worked on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have worked on that.
You're coming along?
Yes, I can tell you
Thank you, Jesus.
A fact. But when it's done, it...
But inakuanga unintentional. I hope you take that word. It's unintentional. Ikwangi ati nimepanga ati nafanya hivi ndio ukasirike. Siko unaelewa.
So unadanganya ndo nikifind out ni furahi.
No, maybe I was just trying to cover for something.
Cover?
Yeah.
But it will be uncovered.
But now my prayer is that it doesn't
actually,
get there.
I think just pause there, because the next question, you can join it all together. Have you ever lied to me? If so, why did you feel it was necessary?
I don't know why it was necessary. But yes, of course.
To cover. Even venye unasema.
Not to cover. You know, in Ilonanga, these are not... They're not really important.
If it's something that involves you or maybe your family or whatever,
no,
that's okay.
Actually, that's worse.
But when you lie about something that unajua tu nita find out either way.
No,
that's what I never get my...
Uta find out.
Utajuanga. Unajuanga mimi na nita find out too. But anyway, you are working on it. We have not had such an incident in the longest time. And I pray, Lord, I pray. It remains that way.
Do not invoke the spirits.
No, we will not invoke any spirits.
Yeah.
I pray.
And so the question has been answered about that, joining the question of what. In what ways do you feel I could be a better partner?
I think you're pretty much a lot.
Are you trying to say I'm a perfect partner?
No, you're not perfect. Okay.
Only God is perfect.
Yeah, only God is perfect. That much I have had to learn the hard way. But I think so far so good. We are progressing well. Not to say you're perfect, but to say that we are working on your imperfections with positivity. Both of us, yes, because I'm not perfect either.
So what's the hardest thing about being married to me?
Yeah, the hardest. Yes. Speaking. Hey, me, I feel like
kwanza unajua nafaa ushukuru God sana nipata kijana handsome. Kijana light skin. Na kijana napenda God.
Light skin.
Sasa kutoka hapo. Now I'm trying to first of all safisha picha yangu kwa watu before you come with you. Slim.
No, me, I really thank God. Let me tell you, we are married. Like I got married to you. I feel like you're above average. From what I hear outside here, men, wanaume wameza. Wanaume huku Nairobi wameweka wamama
joto tumbo.
Na kuambia, haujui bwanako wako wapi saa 9 za usiku. Do you know? I'm so grateful that I get to be treated as a queen. You know, his love language is acts of service. I love the breakfast in bed. I love the lunches. I love the just being treated like a princess. I love that. And the imperfections we are working on.
Hapo malizia cut. What life lesson have you learned from me?
Oh, giving. Giving and being less calm. By the way, because it's true, I can be a bit much
dramatic, like those
I can
queens
be,
in Great House of
dramatic.
Atlanta.
Yeah, you we are yet to learn. We are still learning about being less dramatic, because I feel like you just leave things be. But me, I want to get to the bottom of them. Acha na we will work on it in our later years. But
in progress.
Giving,
Yes.
Because what babe is, he's a spendthrift, and I'm
a big giver.
I
spend a lot on people, but now that's something you've also learned to tame. Like kuna ile kind giving na kuna ile spending. Like I feel anywhere we are that I'm the person supposed to pay the bills.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in that I have learned also to be a better giver and a cheerful giver. Because kuna ile kugive lakini unagive
like unasikia
lakini
nimempea mingi. Unajua ile unakwanga kwa hauna 1k you want to give.
Yeah.
But you end up giving 100.
Yeah, like
your more
budget. So I have learned to be a cheerful giver. Yes, and to give more often.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the last question, but not the least one. It says, what pain in me do you wish you could heal?
Oh, from your childhood. Yeah, because you're such a nice person. And also, you've given the best of your fatherhood to our children, to Miguel, now the one who's here, and even the one who is unborn. But I wish that would have been, like, I wish you got to enjoy what you give Miguel now. So, yeah.
We're given an opportunity to try and replicate that which we wanted now in our children.
Yes.
So I feel that.
So sometimes I look at Miguel and I'm like, you don't know what you have.
But I think you can also look at it in a different way. Maybe if I was brought up with the kind of good life and that part, maybe I would not be the same person I am today.
Yes, I agree.
So because again also you see what the Bible is among that. God doesn't make any mistake, and everything works for good when you love the Lord.
Yes.
Would be that was now to prepare me
to be the best dad.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yes guys, that has been our I feel ama tuambie watu organize zingine tuende nazo dates. Tuende nazo kwa
they were nice
bedroom.
Because haujui nini
and it really invokes like
the inner person.
The inner
huyu sister ule Peekays wa camera nini mnamuona na Milka. It takes you back now, you search your heart.
It takes you back, you search and search and search.
Nini naweza taka.
But also I have learned what I need to do. I have learned to sitakuwa navaa ile night dress yangu ya nani grade. Lakini beba that night dress is comfortable, especially now. I'm so comfortable with that night dress.
Then those ones to discuss.
But anyway, I love these questions. Thank you so much, Tuko, for having us.
Yes.
Thank you for invoking this, like
sparking up a conversation.
Sparking up very deep conversation. All right, guys.
Thank you very much, guys, for also staying here, coming this far. Please also do remember to subscribe to the channel here, Tuko, and also to our YouTube channel, the Peekays. Follow us all on our social media. Our handles are at Milka_wa_PK.
Milka wa PK on all platforms.
If you're typing
PK01.
Yes, and PK_01. There's an underscore that keeps moving. But I think if you type, I don't think there's another PK. The only one country, guys. So search for me on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube as the Peekays. That's what's up.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to coming back here.
Oh
on
yes,
this channel.
I hope we are going to be called back. I
so
hope we
fun.
behaved.
No, like who is the judge?
Yeah, who is the
Tuko.
judge? So Tuko ndani.
Yeah.
Yeah.